Hello, I had quite a few questions about combs yesterday on various social media channels, so I thought I'd do a quick video about these little things, just to answer a few of them. So from a basic construction point of view, the way they're made is two pieces of antler or bone either side, which form this decorated back of the comb. And these basically clamp together individual small sections of antler that hold the teeth in place. Now, up against the back, these are all done before the teeth are actually cut. So you can see the tooth plates are very tightly positioned together. And the rivets in the front face actually go at the junction between two tooth plates. You can't actually see them because they're so tight, but that one there, for example, the junction is there, and so this rivet goes right the way through it, and it notches ever so slightly into both of the ones either side. And this happens all the way along, and it kind of locks the teeth plate in quite nicely. And when this is done, you've got a nice tight fit. Then, using a saw, you will cut the individual teeth. Now, these are done very, very finely, and even mine aren't as fine as some of the originals. But of course, this leaves a square-shaped tooth with a square end. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the originals were made, to be honest. And I don't know if there's been a lot of studies into the exact marks on them. But the way I sort of produce them is I'll use a file. I've had a very small needle file like this one, or sometimes a triangular file. And I will file, first of all, a little between two teeth plates to get a little V notch in, and then at a bit of an angle just to round a point off. And that will start to point the end of the tooth. But then I'll take a knife and basically I will scrape away on both sides of the tooth to make it much more rounded. And when this is done, to be fair, I then cheat and use a bit of sandpaper just to finish that off. I'm not entirely sure what the original solution would have been. It's something I keep experimenting with, but of course there's a combination of the amount of time I've got to actually do them. But that's generally, we understand from the way that, you see, you can probably see it in here, there's little notches in this in the actual comb back itself, which is an indicator, of course, that the comb had actually been assembled and put together before the teeth plates were cut. And of course, if that's the case, then you have to do the shaping after the cutting. So, I mean, it's something I'd love to learn more about in the future, really, the exact processes of making these things, because they're incredibly time consuming, but very beautiful items. Now, when this is finished, there are two identical pieces here, and another identical pair that will go either side. And this will sit inside a case, and I'll have to make a little end cap here to rivet the case together. And usually there is a little hole in this tab here, and a little hole in the case. And that allows you to put a peg in so that the actual comb won't fall out when it's in the case. And very fancy it'll look indeed. You'll often see sometimes museums make a few mistakes and actually identify these as comb backs and things like that, but you can always tell because they don't have rivet holes along the length, which are absolutely essential to hold the teeth plate in position, basically. So that's the dead giveaway. If it's got lots of holes in it, it's the back of a comb, and if not, it's part of the case.